My name's Arthur, and I invite you to join me as we continue to read from the book of Joshua, the division of the land of Israel west of the Jordan Valley to the tribes of Israel. This is a fundamental document justifying their occupation of particular territories where each of the tribes were to dwell. And we take up the reading in Joshua chapter 14. These are the areas which the children of Israel inherited in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest, Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel distributed as an inheritance to them. Their inheritance was by lot, as the Lord had commanded by the hand of Moses, for the 9 tribes and the half-tribe. For Moses had given the inheritance of the 2 tribes and the half-tribe on the other side of the Jordan. But to the Levites he had given no inheritance among them, for the children of Joseph were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, and he gave no part to the Levites in the land, except cities to dwell in, with their common lands for their livestock and their property. As the Lord had commanded Moses, so the children of Israel did, and they divided the land. Then the children of Judah came to Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite said to him, "You know the word which the Lord said to Moses the man of God concerning you and me in Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moses the servant of the Lord sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought back word to him as it was in my heart. Nevertheless, my brethren who went up with me made the heart of the people melt. But I wholly followed the Lord my God. So Moses swore on that day, saying, Surely the land where your foot has trodden shall be your inheritance, and your children's forever, because you have wholly followed the Lord my God. And now, behold, the Lord has kept me alive, as he said, these 45 years, ever since the Lord spoke this word to Joshua, while Israel wandered in the wilderness. And now here I am this day, 85 years old. As yet I am as strong this day as on the day that Moses sent me. Just as my strength was then, so now is my strength for war, both for going out and for coming in. Now therefore give me this mountain of which the Lord spoke in that day. For you heard in that day how the Anakim were there, and that the cities were great and fortified. It may be that the Lord will be with me, and I shall be able to drive them out, as the Lord said. And Joshua blessed him, and gave Hebron to Caleb the son of Jephunneh as an inheritance. Hebron therefore became the inheritance of Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite to this day, because he wholly followed the Lord God of Israel. And the name of Hebron formerly was called Kirjath Arba. Arba was the greatest man among the Anakim. Then the land had rest from war. Chapter 15. So this was the lot of the tribe of Judah according to their families. The border of Edom at the wilderness of Zin, southward, was the extreme southern boundary, and their southern border began at the shore of the Salt Sea, and from the bay that faces southward. Then it went out to the southern side of the ascent of Akrabim, passed along to Zin, ascended on the south side to Kadesh Barnea, passed along to Hezron, went up to Adar, and went around to Karkar. From there it passed toward Asmon, and went out to the brook of Egypt, and the border ended at the sea. This shall be your southern border. The east border was the Salt Sea as far as the mouth of the Jordan, and the border on the northern quarter began at the bay of the sea at the mouth of the Jordan. The border went up to Beth Hoglah, and passed north of Beth Arabah, and the border went up to the stone of Bohan the son of Reuben. Then the border went up toward Debir, from the valley of Achor, and it turned northward toward Gilgal, which is before the ascent of Adummim, which is on the south side of the valley. The border continued toward the waters of En Shemesh, and ended at En Rogel, And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom to the southern slope, to the Jebusite city, which is Jerusalem. The border went up to the top of the mountain that lies before the valley of Hinnom westward, which is at the end of the valley of Rephaim northward. Then the border went around the top of the hill to the fountain of the water of Nephtoah, and extended to the cities of Mount Ephron. And the border went around to Baalah, which is Kirjath-jearim. Then the border turned westward from Baalah to Mount Seir, passed along the side of Mount Jearim on the north, which is Chesalon, went down to Beth-shemesh, and passed on to Timnah. And the border went out to the side of Ekron northward. Then the border went around to Shikron, passed along to Mount Baalah, and extended to Jabneel, and the border ended at the sea. The west border was the coastland of the Great Sea. This is the boundary of the children of Judah, all around according to their families. Now to Caleb the son of Jephunneh he gave a share among the children of Judah, according to the commandment of the Lord to Joshua, namely Kirjath-arba, which is Hebron. Arba was the father of Anak. Caleb drove out the 3 sons of Anak from there, Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai, the children of Anak. Then he went up from there to the inhabitants of Debir. Formerly the name of Debir was Kirjath-sepher. And Caleb said, He who attacks Kirjath-sepher and takes it, to him I will give Achsah my daughter as wife. So Othniel, the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, took it, and he gave him Achsah his daughter as wife. Now it was so, when she came to him, that she persuaded him to ask her father for a field. So she dismounted from her donkey, and Caleb said to her, What do you wish? And she answered, Give me a blessing. Since you have given me land in the south, give me also springs of water. So he gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. May the Lord bless his word to us today. We've read chapter 14 and the first 19 verses of chapter 15, which is a very long chapter, and we'll look at the rest of it next time. But the focus of our reading has been the story of Caleb. Caleb and Joshua were 2 of the 12 spies that Moses sent to spy out the land. And they came back, Caleb in particular, saying, We can occupy the land. Yes, there are giants there, but the Lord is stronger than the giants. But the other 10 described the difficulties and disheartened the people. And so the people did not go forward and occupy the land at that time. All of that generation died in the wilderness, except Joshua and Caleb, who now are 85 years old. So this is 5 years after they have occupied the land, and they are as fit then as they were 45 years earlier. Caleb then comes to Joshua with his request, Give me the mountain. This is what the Lord said to me through his servant Moses, that I would occupy the land that I had walked on. And this was the area around Hebron. Joshua blesses Caleb and grants him that territory. Of course, Caleb still has to possess that territory, and there are the giants there. He kills them to take their territory, as the Lord had said. But the other part of our reading was the allocation of all the territory from Jerusalem down to Mount Seir, and from the Great Sea across to the Dead Sea, as being the territory of Judah. That was a large area, and some of the cities of that area were given to people of the tribe of Simeon. Caleb provided opportunity for others to help in occupying the land, promising his daughter to the person who took the city of Kirjath-sepher. And his nephew, Othniel, took that city. Caleb gave him his daughter Achsah as wife. She asked for additional territory, that she might have springs of water as well as land. And so he gave the upper springs and the lower springs to Othniel, the son of Kenaz. The story of Caleb is a classic example of the Lord blessing those who patiently trust him and wait on him.